Alright guys, and here she is. Got it back on. What's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm excited for today's video because I've been wanting to do this for a while, and that's fix this third brake light right here on my 2002 Cadillac Escalade. So I actually just fixed it. So I'm going to show you guys a quick little before how it was. Yeah, so as you guys can see, I just fixed it and I haven't fully tightened it back down yet because I have silicone that's holding it together. But this has been bothering me for a while because only half of this third brake light is working and this side keeps flickering on and off. I have to, you know, like tap it to get it to work. So I knew there's something wrong with it, and it's actually a really easy fix. There's no videos, or I haven't found any videos on YouTube on how to fix this one. I saw one with a guy with an Escalade truck and it was a little bit different than mine, and he fixed it in a little bit different way. So this is actually a super easy fix. You just have to solder one little point. And yeah guys, these lights are like $400, 350 bucks. I saw a couple used ones on eBay for like $250, but still they're like at least 300. So it's a really easy fix. If you don't have any tools, then you can get this fix done for under $50. All you need is a oscillating tool, which I paid like 20 bucks for mine, and a solder gun, little solder iron, and that's it. So hopefully this video helps someone out. All you gotta do to take this out is get your hatch open, and then there's 3 screws that hold it in. One here, one in the middle, and one on this side. I already took this one out and I just have these 2 barely in there right now because, like I said, I just actually fixed mine. But this is how you take it out. You just take them 3 screws out, and then there's one little connector plug you just unplug, and that's it. I'm going to take it inside and I'll show you guys how to fix it. Alright guys, so here is the third brake light. It's off the vehicle. I just started recording now because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fix this or not. But after taking it apart, it looks like I can fix it. You can see this is the third brake light. This is the side over here that doesn't work. So I tried using a heat gun and heated up all of this very consistently for a long time, and then tried using a knife and a flathead screwdriver to try to pry it apart, but I was really just breaking the plastic. It wasn't working at all. So I ended up using just this little cheap Hyper Tough. I believe I bought this at Harbor Freight or Walmart or something like that years ago for like 20 bucks. And this thing has been really solid for me. It's worked really well. Just a really cheap tool. But this is called an oscillator. Has this little flat blade on the top, and as you're using this blade, it gets hot. So I just used this little guy and went all the way around the edge. That's the only way that I found to get it open. I was having a really hard time, but this little $20 tool did it with no problem. Okay, so once you use that oscillator to cut all the way around the edge, the gasket wouldn't really heat right or melt, so I melted the plastic a little bit. But this just comes off now, just like that. And then we can flip it over right here, like this. Alright, so you're going to take it apart. You need to get this little guy off. All I did was use a screwdriver, just get behind there, and just pop it out. Be careful you don't break it. Okay, got this out. Just like Got that right there. And now you guys can see the LEDs that are in here. It's actually a really simple design, and it's really easy to fix. So I'll show you guys how easy of a fix this is. This is the side that's the problem. This side over here works fine. And as you can see, this is the side that plugs in. So this side is always having power, which makes sense. And then these wires connect this side, this LED strip. And I assumed that there was a problem with something right there. So next, all you have to do is take out these 4 screws on each side. So there's 8 total. And then we can take these LED strips off. Got those 4 out. Get these ones out. You can see I was already in here. I already diagnosed the problem. Now you got those 4 screws out. This LED little strip is just gonna pop right out. And we can just set this to the side. Alright guys, so this is the important part. So like I said, over here, this is the one that's not working. It will give a little bit of power to a few of these lights. And then if you were to beat on it, sometimes these ones will flicker. What we're going to focus on is this red wire. So when I turn this over and you look, the solder joint is very bad. So if you mess with this red wire, you can see how it's sticking up. It's not even connected anymore. You can move back and forth. I think you guys can see that. So yeah, that's definitely the issue. This guy right here. So to fix this issue, I got some very fine electrical solder and a solder gun. So all I'm gonna do is resolder this positive connection and we should be good to go. I'm not a very good solderer, I'll tell you that right now. Okay, that looks good. See how it's no longer moving around? All the other solder points look pretty good. So now, just with that simple little solder, we can throw this back in right there, put a couple screws in, and then we can plug it in just to make sure it works. It's real easy to line back up. You just make sure them little prongs are in that slot, and then it drops into all these little nubs, so you can't really put it in the wrong spot. All right, as you guys can see, they're all lit up. All right, so now we can put this all back together. All right, guys, so we know it works now. I'm going to clean up the edges the best I can. Because that tool that I used did melt this pretty good. Get off as much as I can. So it goes back together as nicely as I can get it to. Same thing for in here. Use this screwdriver to help a little bit. So now we're going to get this clear part back in here. It just falls right in. And then kind of just push it into place. There we go. So this is all back in. All right, guys, to seal this back up, I just got some cheap silicone, some clear. This was like $6 at Ace. So I'm just gonna put a pretty heavy bead all the way around and then push it back together. Push it on. I can still see some gaps, so I'm just going to continue to go around on the outside. Alright guys, and here she is. Got it back on. I didn't fully tighten it down yet, but you can see it's all back together. It all works right. Just saved myself like 350 bucks, 400 bucks. The silicone's still drying, so like I said, I still have to fully tighten it down, but looks like we're all good to go. Alright guys, this is after I cleaned it up a little bit and tightened it down a little bit more. You can see it doesn't quite fit in there perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap right here, but that's really okay. It's not meant to seal. This is, if water gets in, it just runs down behind there, which is okay. It it'll just run along this right here and come down if any water ends up coming in. So this doesn't actually have to be perfectly sealed. It looks pretty good, all except for this side. It didn't quite, it's not exactly fitting in there. There's a little bit of a gap, you can see. And the screws are pretty much as tight as I want to make them. I guess I probably could. If I let it dry a little bit more and then push down as I screw, it'll probably fit. But from just a couple feet back, you can't really tell. So the one thing I would do if I was doing this again is when I'm putting this back together, I would use some type of clamps to really get that exact same shape that you had before you took it apart. So a couple little clamps would have worked really well, but I'm still really happy with it. It works, that's all I really care about, and it looks pretty decent. If I feel like having a project one day, maybe I'll take it apart again and try to make it nicer, but it does the job for now. So that's gonna be all for today, guys. Really happy that I fixed this third brake light. It's been bugging me for a while and I didn't want to spend the $400 to fix it, or to get a new one, I mean. So I'm really happy that I was able to fix it pretty much for free. Yeah, hopefully this helps someone else out. Like I said, I couldn't find any real videos on how to fix it. Hopefully this ends up helping a few people out. It's probably the same on like Tahoes and Suburbans. I'm not exactly sure, but it's probably real similar, if not the same. You guys do me a huge favor and drop a big thumbs up. It really helps the video reach a wider audience, and I really appreciate it. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on the next video. Thanks, guys. So I hope you have a great day. Peace.